You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and Beautiful fans. We have kind of a special edition comings and goings. We want to talk about whether Liam Spencer is leaving B&B. And we do have a reason to ask this, all right? And that's because of what's going on with him storyline-wise is kind of unique in the history of Bold, if you think about it, because Liam always has a woman in his life, and right now the two that he likes to bounce between, one's getting into bed with a new guy, and one said, kick rocks, I'm staying with my husband. So does this mean that Liam is leaving? Is there any storyline left for Scott Clifton to play on the CBS soap opera? We're going to dig into it. We've got hot spoilers, hot information to talk about, and we want to consider the fate of Liam on Bold. Hey, if you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our B&B updates, news, and spoilers. All right, just real quick, before we dig into this Liam stuff, in terms of comings and goings, we do have a new cast edition coming in. Of course, Sheila Carter is back this coming week, and Cynthia Dallas is going to play this guard named Tate on Bold. So we will wait and see that, but she's there July 10th and 11th as Deacon is there visiting with Sheila. All right, now let's talk about the really important thing, and that is whether Liam Spencer will leave Bold and the Beautiful now that he is about to be divorced or annulled yet again. So right now, Liam's anger and hypocrisy kind of have written him into this corner with both Hope and Steffy. And we have to ask if he's leaving because, let's be real, Liam's only storyline ever is him with a woman, whether it's Steffy or Brooke or Ivy or Sally, heck, even Quinn. Remember that wackadoo Adam and Eve storyline? Think about a storyline that Liam has had that hasn't been about him and a woman. Nothing comes to mind. That's because it doesn't exist. The only sort of side storyline he had was that whole like hit and run thing with him and Bill when they hit the creepy drug dealer guy. But even then, that tied back around to Thomas and Hope. So that doesn't even really count. So what will they do with Liam if he's not the center of some woman's attention, or preferably the center of the attention of more than one woman, right? We know how Liam is. So we have a few ideas for what they can do to keep Liam on Bold and the Beautiful and in a front burner storyline, because I don't think Scott Clifton is leaving. Now, sometimes, you know, the way that Bold runs, because it's such a short show, and they only have like 17 minutes of content a day, and now they're devoting, I don't know, about a third of it to flashbacks, then, you know, they could just slide him onto the back burner while Thomas and Hope boot their relationship and get it started. And we've got Sheila Carter's trial starting the week of July 17th. So they could slide him on the back burner, but we have some ideas of how to keep him on the front burner and extremely relevant. Number one, Liam Spencer could go completely dark and set out to destroy Thomas Forrester, because Liam can't stand the idea that Hope wants Thomas and not him. His ego just is crumbling. So he can kind of do the stuff that Thomas had done at one point, you know? He could get into this rage and he can just do this dark stuff. He could try to sabotage Thomas at work. In his personal life, he could try and discredit him with Hope. There is just no limit to what he could do. He could try to set him up, and that might be a lot of fun to see Liam going dark, because we haven't really seen Liam go dark, and it would definitely be something new and different, and I totally think that Scott Clifton is up to it. He has that acting range. If you don't remember, he used to play over on General Hospital. He played Dylan Quartermain, and he had some kind of dark material over there, and he was gosh darn good at it. I liked the character of Dylan a lot more than I like Liam. I'll just tell you that. If you guys listen regularly, you'll know that I'm not a big fan of Liam, but I do want to say in my own defense, Scott Clifton, who plays him, is also not a fan of Liam. So the actor who plays him and me have that in common. All right, the second thing they could do with Liam to keep him on the front burner storyline is Liam could try to destroy Steffi's marriage to Finn so that she could slide back to him by default. Liam has got leverage. You know, those 2 secret kisses could ruin her marriage to Finn. Liam would not have this leverage at all if Steffy had come clean to Finn right away about the first one. Just said, hey, you know, he was really upset. He kissed me. I stopped it. I pushed him back. This was not me. I don't want it. You know, I'm upset about it. And then Finn could have gone over and punched Liam in his full face and said, don't come to my house ever again. You send the nanny to pick up your daughter. You just go away. I'm getting a restraining order. You're not allowed in Malibu at all. And then had he done that, maybe that second kiss wouldn't have happened. But right now, Liam has got the power to really hurt her marriage. Maybe Steffy could talk Finn down, but I don't know, because Finn already forgave her cheating with Liam. And remember, there was the whole thing about whether Hayes was Liam's or Finn's. Thankfully, he was Finn's. But I feel like Finn's tolerance and patience with Liam is about where Liam's tolerance and patience is with Thomas. Of course, Liam doesn't see it that way, but I do think that Finn kind of sees it that way. Liam is that level of a threat to his marriage, and he's let stuff go and he's forgiven stuff. But I think Finn, even though he's a nice guy, I think inside he is full up on his tolerance of Liam. And if Liam tries this, whew, that could be a lot of fun, right? And Liam could blab on purpose to screw up Steffy's life, thinking that he might get her back. But if I was Steffy, I would tell him, you ruined my marriage. Forget it. I'm never talking to you again. You know, we are going to revisit custody. You're going to be on supervised visitation. You are in permanent timeout. All right. The third thing Liam could do is he could basically turn into Thomas. He could start obsessing about Hope the same way that Thomas used to do when he was back in his creepy mannequin phase. Heck, Liam could go over and dig that mannequin out of storage and move it into the spare room at his dad's house. How creepy would that be? I mean, Liam is a Spencer, and Spencers do have in their gene pool the ability to be diabolical, obsessive, and dark. Remember all the sketchy stuff that Bill was doing to destroy Steffy's marriage to Liam when he wanted Steffy for himself? That's what Liam could do. He could take some pages out of his dad's playbook. All right. The fourth thing that Liam could do is he could rekindle his romance with Ivy Forrester, because we know what Liam really needs is a woman to give him attention and stroke his ego and make him feel like the most important person in the world. And Ivy adored Liam just as much as like Steffy and Hope did. And she was trying to work her way in. So she was one of the women that he was waffling between. And his ego needs this. And he's lost his two main groupies, Hope and Steffy. So maybe he'll make a long distance call to Australia and invite Ivy to come back to America. So is that where she is? Is she in Australia? Ashley Brewer is Australian, but I think she did an American accent. I can't remember now. It's been so long since she was on. Last time I remember seeing her was around the time that Quinn and Eric got married, because she was like the only person in attendance at their wedding. I do like Ashley Brewer, and I think it'd be fun to have Ivy back. All right, we have one big wild last idea of how to keep Liam relevant and on the front burner, and we're going to tell you about that in 1 second. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our B&B updates. And if you're enjoying this, please click a like. All right, so this would be wild. Wouldn't it be fun with Liam to keep him in the front burner if they brought back Quinn Fuller, brought back Rena Sofer to reprise the role of Quinn, and they got Adam and Eve back together? If you guys weren't watching then, Liam had a head injury. He had hit his head like a couple of times in a row. And then he was like walking Ivy Forrester onto a plane, and then he hit his head and he ended up flying to Australia accidentally and then flying back, and then he hit his head. Anyway, then Quinn found him in the parking lot, shoved him in the car, and hid him away at this cabin up on like the coast somewhere. She was trying to keep him out of the way so that Wyatt would have time to marry Steffy. So that was originally what Quinn's plot was. And Liam had amnesia. She told him his name was Adam and that her name was Eve. And she originally was basically intending to to kind of kidnap him. But then she started falling for him, and she told him they were together, and they ended up sleeping together. She was sleeping with her son's brother, who's exactly the same age almost as her son. It was so weird. But at the same time, I will remind you that Scott Clifton said that that was his favorite romantic storyline for Liam, that he loved it. He loved working with Rena. Rena enjoyed that storyline a lot. She left because she wasn't feeling the kind of storylines they were giving her. I mean, come on. She was stuck with cheating with Carter when Eric had a floppy wiener. And wow. Talk about a limp, lame storyline. Anyway, I think it'd be a whole heck of a lot of fun. I'm saying this, but at the same time, I don't think there's a snowball's chance in Hades that Bold is going to bring back Quinn for this. But if they did, I'd be there for it. I would be there for it. So in terms of Liam's fate at Bold and the Beautiful, I don't think he's leaving. I do think they're going to do something different with him. I think it's more going to be along the lines of him going dark and stalking Hope, or messing with Thomas, trying to wreck Steffy's marriage, maybe all of the above. I don't know. It could be really fun to see him doing something different for a change than just getting his ego stroked and waffling.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.